and welcome back to Dicebreaker, or should we say Dungeonbreaker? It's... Wow. That is, in fairness, okay, that's a fair response, given I literally sent you to hell at the end of the last session, which we'll get back to when we do a minor recap. But we are back. We've completed our Deadlands mini-series. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. The accents are incredible.
One word.
Yes, and obviously you'll notice that we have had a bit of a lineup change. Obviously Sarah has left Icebreaker. We will miss him very much, and we will also, of course, miss Eric, whose catchphrases will echo in Dicebreaker memory, I am sure. But we have a new cast member joining us, the one and only Dean Abdu.
Hello, it's me.
Welcome aboard. We are extremely excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm delighted about your character. I can't wait for everyone to meet them. But first, let's get back into it, and then we'll introduce you at a convenient moment. You'll of course remember at the end of the last season, you got blasted out of the sky by an enormous sort of god cannon from the Church of the Silver Flame after you tried to rob Justinian the Wise. He took exception to this and sort of just blew you away. So you went through a portal in a stolen Zeppelin with Amelia Montebank inside. Alarms were screaming. You were spinning down and down and down, and you landed on the earth, and a warm glow was suffusing the Zeppelin. And we'll cut straight back in. You've just impacted in the ground. You're not sure if you're the only ones still breathing. Like, each of you, sorry, is not sure if you're the only one still breathing.
Tim is upside down in his head. He's in a bucket. And you can just hear echoing out of the bucket. Oh my god. Oh.
Amazing. You can hear Cisco snarling nearby, trying to stand back up. Cisco's sort of like pinned next to some furniture, so you know he's alive at least.
Okay, that's a reassuring thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I flew out the window on the way down.
No, you did not. No, you did not.
No? Oh, okay.
Sorry. Though because you would now be dead is the main reason for that. But the windows are all intact. They're extremely tough, sort of shatterproof glass.
Okay.
So you are very much in the Zeppelin with the others.
I think I flew out the window. And I'm like, ooh, it's very warm. I probably don't even realize that we kind of crashed, that we're where we are. To be honest, I think we were, obviously I know that we went down, but I am assuming that whoever was flying the Zeppelin, Amelia, I guess, was doing like a trick, and that she was probably like, went up at the last second kind of thing. So I realized that we're kind of a bit topsy-turvy, but maybe we're upside down. I don't know.
Cool. What's everyone else doing? Fizz?
I think I'm like lodged inside of the chimney or something. Like, you can probably hear like the echo of swearing, just sort of like from where Morboss was hiding before, like just echoing out through the thing. I'm probably gonna just like try and dislodge my head and take a little look around.
I was going to say that Morboss probably ran to the chimney, so we both lodged in there together.
Yes.
Birdman, for God's sake!
Chimney with both of us in there.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, one of you is upside down, so you're practically looking one another in the face. It reminds you of the Yon ballad of the man spider, because there was a very romantic scene where he met the maiden fair while in such a configuration. But you have more pressing matters than romance to attend right now.
Don't crush your dreams, Johnny.
No more pressing matters than the romance, Johnny. Romance
Sorry.
is always the priority.
Will they, won't they? That's been building up for the first season.
I know, right?
But it was gonna be the main arc of season 3. We can't do it now, or we could. I don't know. Anyway, outside, I tell you what. So, Mist, you are kind of you're the first on your feet because you don't realise that anything's particularly wrong. To the point where you don't even realise that the entire Zeppelin carriage is on its side. But you do look up when you hear a distant boom, and what you see is basically a hellscape. It's a cracked and ravaged land with sort of fires burning in the distance, horrible howling wind, and you swear you can hear screams on said wind. And not too far away, you realise that the boom was in fact an eruption of lava from a nearby volcano. And this lava has crashed down into the hillside and is starting to slowly move its way toward you. Obviously, this is quite a panic-inducing sight, but just before you realise, A, you're not in the air anymore, and B, you're all in mortal danger, you swear you see a figure silhouetted on a ridge near the volcano, sort of backlit heroically by the glow of this fire. Dean, your character, let's say you were sort of wandering about, going about your business. You saw 2 Zeppelins come down, and the nearest one to you has about 2 minutes before it is engulfed in lava. You're not sure if anyone inside is still alive, but if they are, they might not be for very long.
Boy, oh boy. Well, I guess I'm gonna do the naturally heroic thing and run over to see what the crack is and maybe do some looting if nobody's alive, but we'll see.
Yes.
Fair game. Fair
Perfect. Mist, are you telling anybody about the predicament they're in?
I kind of look around. I'm like, guys.
game.
Yeah.
Looking around for everything.
Yeah, Tim is still upside down, bucket first on the floor, legs sort of wiggling.
I'd like
in the air.
to start yanking like Tim's
Oh,
legs.
Get
And
out.
just, like,
Kim,
Surely you just pick up the bucket, right? It can't be that heavy.
it's
I,
heavy.
I miss, right? So I'm
He's
just yanking
dead.
the leg. The thing is, I'm not doing anything to hold onto the bucket, so I'm literally just picking
Yeah.
Tim up by the leg.
Wiggling
While he's still-
around.
yeah. And then eventually, I kind of like pop him upside down, but actually on his legs, and start pulling at the bucket instead.
For some reason, the bucket is really stuck. You don't know what was in there, but it's causing
Oh.
issues.
I kind of just like give it a little tap and go, Tim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I don't know where I am. I can't see anything.
Tim from New Zealand now.
Wouldn't be a good idea for me to try and poke a hole in. Can you come out? I need to talk to you.
I mean, and you see his hands like reach up to like feel what's on his head. I could try. And he starts trying to tug at the bucket on his head, but he's not. We've established that he's not exactly the strongest
Okay.
person here.
Tim, is it gooey in there?
I mean, I'm almost always in a perpetual state of gooiness, so I really can't tell if it's particularly more gooey than normal.
I'd like to cast prestidigitation on the bucket to try and clean the insides to see if it like makes it a little less sticky.
Very well. You
Get
cast
inside
prestidigitation. Give me my can back.
Spell that you have to be drunk to cast.
It is considerably less gooey in there now, Tim the Goblin.
Was it like someone sprayed a hose in there and it just flushed water in there?
No, it's more like all of the goo just went into the wood. disappeared.
Okay, then he successfully lifts the bucket off his head. Like,
I bring Tim over to the window and hold him up against the glass and go, look, there's some hot jam coming towards us. We're in trouble.
oh, hang on, let me just wipes the window there. That's really hot jam there.
I really like the idea that you held him up and he breathed on the window. He's like, it's really foggy. I can't see anything.
You just hear Tim shout, "We've got to get out of here!"
We're on our side, right?
Yes.
Okay. Morboss, you're immune to fire, right? Are you immune to lava at all?
Well, I suppose now's as good a time as any to find out. I think so. Have you stepped out the chimney, Fizz?
Yeah, I've dislodged myself now.
I think after you left, so I was like, Birdman, you leave first. I'll give it 5, and then I'll come out. And after you leave, Morboss just kind of wipes under his eyes with his tail a little bit, just to, just to clear up from the sweat, nothing else from being, not scared, but exhilarated by the crashing airship. And then he steps out and he looks at it. The lava coming towards us, and I think he's maybe just takes a chair somewhere. He's probably not that fussed if he knows he's fire resistant. Just kind of sits back and watches the rest of the party to see what they're doing.
How far does fire resistance go?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So basically, to set the scene, you're all sort of in the cabin, in various states of shock and/or just like not being asked. Obviously, the doors on the side down, the doors on one side are on the ground now, so you can't open those. They open outwards. So your best bet is the door that is above you on what was a wall and is now the ceiling.
Is there any kind of thing that we could climb up in the? Are there things that are attached to the floor that we could try and?
So yeah, the tables are all bolted to the floor.
Classy move. Yeah.
Just for safety.
As a rule of thumb, I only go to restaurants where the furniture is bolted to the floor.
Oh, absolutely. It stops people pushing the tables together for big parties. So yes, you can try climbing that if you want.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. Make me a.
Just fly.
Make me either a strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics check based on the way you are scaling the Zeppelin, please.
I'll go for acrobatics. And I have rolled a dirty 21.
Wow, okay, yeah, you managed to get all the way up there, and you're kind of balanced on a high chair that would normally have a baby in it, but it doesn't, because the baby is somewhere else and is safe. And you reach up and you grab the handle, and the door is jammed. Dean, your character has now gained. You are on the other side of this door.
Cool.
Again, you weren't sure if there are people inside, and now, sort of with a feeling of some excitement, but also some loot disappointment, you've realised there are people alive in there. And that the lava is really quite close now, so you should probably lend a hand, because if you don't, the loot's going to be ruined anyway.
Yeah, obviously. So,
Sorry, where is Amelia?
She is in the Zeppelin with you. She's just sort of.
So we don't know where. Okay.
She's right there with you. She's kind of rubbing her head. She's got a cut on her brow. She's kind of slow to sort of get back together. But
okay.
So Dean, what are you doing?
So I'm gonna pull out my scimitar and then wedge it through the middle of the doors to pry them open.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that, and I hope it's a success. I could do that and then gauge at the madness that's going on in there. See some crazy bird person and cat. A little green baby, it seems. And then a devilishly handsome figure just with horns that I'm immediately just wowed by. But
amazing.
I'm fully prepared to just rescue him mainly before everybody else, even though I could see Fizz right there. I'm just gonna, give me a moment, okay? like,
We'll come back to you, No Wings. This guy. So from the perspective of everyone in the Zeppelin, you see a blade just scythe through a gap in the door, and then the door just pops open, and then sort of being gusted by warm thermals that are coming off the various sort of lava pits and just running all the way through Avernus, you see a figure. Please describe yourself to us.
I am a 6-foot wood elf. I am of a lovely caramel complexion, like I am right now. I have basically look like how I look to you guys on the webcam. Except, IRL I'm 5'4", so that's the major difference there.
Are you wearing like quite loose, like hanging clothing?
Yeah, like, shirt buttoned down quite far, because, we're in hell. It's pretty hot. So I do that,
Cloak
feather collar.
kind of thing?
This is a long coat, so like a long black trench coat sort of thing with the feathers like sewed in around the collar.
Cool. Yeah. I'd like to climb up the coat, please.
Before Fizz does that, while Fizz is balanced on top of this stack, can I cast Thaumaturgy?
Yes.
And just cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute underneath the pile, just to freak him out.
Yeah, you can. Fizz, you can climb up the coat with Dex acrobatics, but you're going to be at a disadvantage because there's an earthquake going on.
Oh, yeah, great.
Poor boss is just chuckling.
Oh,
I feel like, I absolutely know where that came from.
And yet you're at a disadvantage nonetheless. It's still unnerving.
Okay. Well, if I get something worse than a 7, then I'll be impressed. So I could have had a 21, but because of disadvantage, I've got a 7. So that's good.
Oh, no.
You sort of basically part of your... What is your character's name, Dean?
Oh,
My
name is...
Sorry?
My name is Farid.
Farid. Not that anyone in the Zeppelin knows that yet, but part of Farid's cloak is sort of hanging through the hatch. Fizz, you make a leap for it and you manage to grab on, but you're sort of just dangling from his coattails and pedaling your legs. Like a child on the monkey bars that hasn't worked up the courage to grab the next rung.
Or just me on monkey bars.
Yeah, or me, in fairness. So there's now a birdman hanging off your coat, Farid.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed. And we'll go into details about how I got these feathers later. Because I'm very, very concerned he's going to rip my lovely, lovely coat. I will help Fizz up and drag him to the top so that he can stop pulling on my coat. And then...
Okay. Are we going out there then?
Are you
I guess
still
that's where we're
holding
going.
Tim?
I guess. Do you want me to throw you up?
Oh,
Or I'm gonna climb up. I can just climm up with you in my arm. I'm sure.
So I've got a rope. So maybe the easiest thing to do here is that I'll just
Yeah,
chuck
but I'm
down
a
my
cat.
rope to you all.
I just jump up, on the tables that are on the floor wall, whatever they are now, and just leap towards the door.
Okay, Dex acrobatics then,
with
please.
him under one arm.
Got it. Dex
maybe
acrobatics.
we should use the rope. But
I thought you were going to say Tim was being carried in your mouth like a little kitten.
I should have done that.
Scruffing.
7. I rolled a 2 plus 5.
oh no.
You bounce onto the back of a 3-piece sofa and then just launch yourself at the wall. You kind of do that thing where you land with the back of your head and it rolls into your shoulders. You just go bonk and then just hit the deck.
Oh.
Do I land on him or just?
Yeah.
No, you don't. You land with Tim cradled.
Okay.
It's like when quarterbacks in the NFL like vault over tacklers to try and make it for a
To
touchdown.
be fair, I probably landed on my feet. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
It's not what I said, though, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
So Farid has now helpfully dropped a rope. Amelia has grabbed it and has started to brace it, saying, if we don't all want to burn to death, we should probably go up this.
Yeah, I think she's got a point. This.
I just let go of you. I like hold you up to the rope, Tim, so that you can climb the rope.
Tim reaches out and grasps it in his hands and starts to very slowly pull himself. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll just say you're very slowly climbing the rope.
Yeah.
Morboss, how about you? What are you doing? You still just in a chair, not bothered?
Yeah, I think I would wait until everyone else has vacated the airship, and then I would walk over to the rope, kind of wrap my foot in it, and just give it 2 little tugs, as if to say, up.
Okay.
Tim's trying to grasp onto the rope while you're tugging it and be like, oh.
Misty, you going to use the rope to get up? Or are you going to have another go with your
I think I'm going to have another go.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
My
just
pride is at stake here.
make me another Dex acrobatics check then, please.
That's a 13.
Okay, that'll do it.
Hear the disaster alarm is going off.
Yeah, you sort of more carefully this time. You sort of thoughtfully hop your way up the different steps, and then just kind of land gracefully on the platform next to Fizz. Amelia has made it up the rope, sort of like pushing Tim up the final few feet with a hand on his little goblin hiney. And now they're all kind of looking down as Morboss sort of looks up expectantly. Amelia, for her part, is like, ugh. And just starts hauling.
Yeah, I start pulling as well. I help.
Anyone else?
All right.
Lending a hand?
Yeah, I'm absolutely pulling.
Absolutely
This is
not.
the person I was
Yeah.
gunning for the most to help.
Okay. Then yes, with the help of everybody, Morboss gains the top of the Zeppelin. Farid gets his rope back, and you're all standing on top of a craft that is going to be destroyed in approximately 45 seconds.
Okay. Tim looks up at Farid and he says, "Hello. I really hope you've got some sort of a plan right now, because I certainly don't."
I mean, the easiest thing to do right now is just leg it. So, see you guys later. And I dash off.
Bye.
I
Could
respect this one.
everyone make me a quick notice check, please? Not you, Farid. You've already dashed off. You're doing okay. You're just waiting for them now.
You mean
Okay.
perception?
Yeah.
Well-
Notice is Deadlands thing,
Notice is Deadlands. Sorry. Wisdom perception check, please.
I got a nat 20.
Hey.
Oh, I only got a 10.
10.
Okay.
Right? 8.
Or in D&D Beyond, a big B.
Okay. Those of you who just passed, you basically all of your attention is focused on watching Farid sort of dash away and the route he's taking to get to safety, because he seems to know his way around this strange land. Fizz, for your part, you notice that there is a piece of parchment taped to the side of the Zeppelin just next to the door, and it's kind of flapping in the wind. Do you want to grab it before exiting the vehicle with the rest of them?
Oh,
Okay.
why not?
Sort of, to be honest, the way down is quite it's quite straightforward. So kind of everyone has already run on ahead, but you open this parchment, and it is in a lovely flowing script and is signed Eric, and it says, "Chaps, met some locals, got on famously, going to bar. Thanks for all the laughs, Eric." And you suspect that Eric has sort of been elevated already to like one of the popular boys of hell. Like he's just sort of slotted right in and is already off to a social club. So
Wow.
at least you don't have to worry about his safety, which is good because in the distance you see Amelia Montebank's Zeppelin explode as the lava reaches it and touches some form of tank. Amelia, for her part, clamps her hands over Tim the Goblin's ears and lets forth a stream of invective using curse words that actually even you, Fareed, in your relatively short time in hell, which nonetheless feels like eons, haven't heard before. She is an inventive swearer. But anyway, you have now all reached the bank. You are out of the way of the river of lava, and I mean, you're in Avernus, so safety is a relative concept, but you're not in mortal danger right now.
Okay.
Whew.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it?
What's your name, new guy?
All right. Well, I guess you guys are gonna be following me around. It seems so.
Sure.
May as well share my name.
Just drop the curtain there now, bud.
Look, right. You were behind me. I was in front. This is how it comes across. Anyway. I'm
All right,
Fareed.
no, statistically fine.
Fareed, been in this hellscape for a while. I know my way around. And let's just say some folks consider me a bit of a top dog. So.
So, where exactly are we, Mr. Oh, sorry, Sir Fareed?
You're in the first circle of hell, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's all right. I've survived. So you guys should be fine, I hope. I mean, have you ever fought any demons?
Exactly. Sorry, just to butt in a bit, but why are you here?
Yeah, how did you get here?
It's a bit of a personal question, to be honest. I've just
Sorry.
met you guys. I'm not quite ready to share that with you. Let's just say I've done some bad stuff. It's quite frankly, I should be deeper, but we won't talk about that. It's fine. What are you all doing here? Like,
Well, I mean, you've instilled so much confidence in us.
Well, we robbed a cardinal and he sent us to hell. I think that's it.
Yeah,
That's it, right?
When you put it like that, it does seem like we do belong here, I guess.
Can Morboss walk up to Fareed, the kind of imposingly almost, and just be like, "You left us for dead," and then just be like, nod appreciative to Fareed, like, finally someone that operates on Morboss's level, you know, that sees these companions for what they are, expendable.
I mean, this is hell after all. I mean, that was me being pretty polite, to be honest. So, you should prepare for the worst.
Well, says Amelia Montebank. Oh, sorry, Amelia Montebank, adventurer, former Zeppelin owner, I suppose. You say we should get used to it. Are we stuck here forever? Are you stuck here forever? Is this it now? Is this where we live?
Forever such a strong word. I haven't found a way out yet, so
That's encouraging.
yeah.
How long have you been here?
You know what? Completely lost track of that time. Yeah, I want to say years, somewhere in the years kind of mark, you know, where you reach a certain point where you just stop, you know, you just stop.
I think Fizz looks around the group for someone to whisper to about how weird this guy is, and then looks at the rest of the party and looks at the letter where Eric has clearly left and goes, "There's not really much point, is there?"
Tim looks around the surrounding, you know, the lava and the volcano and the screams, and he said, Well, I always like to think that as long as you put the effort in anywhere, because the home, and he points to like a pile of rocks and ash and says, I reckon I could create quite a nice little bed out of that over there.
Oh boy. Yeah. Sure. Uh, what are you all doing in hell anyway? Like, what's your goal here? Nobody willingly comes to hell, so what's cracking?
I think we're on a mission. I think the Cardinal has sent us on a mission.
I guess punishment is a better word for it. So we briefly alluded to it. We did steal pretty much everything that the head cardinal of the Church of the Silver Flame owned. I think Morboss chucked a lot of his rare books in a fire. So
Yes.
I guess if you think about it, chucking us into the largest fire in all of the planes of existence, probably kind of a recompense. I guess the more important thing is, have you got a plan to get out of here?
Well, there just so happens to be a guy that I know. Yi, I called him good old Yi. We have coffee once a week. We're pretty tight. He's well, you'd call him a demon lord, I guess. he's a top lad. You know what? He kind of owes me, to be honest. Like, I've helped him through some rough stuff here in hell. I mean, hell's rough, but there's some even rougher stuff. It's like, so I guess good old Yi. Would he be out? What time is it? Is he? We could go to Yi, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he'll help.
Did you say a demon lord?
Yeah, could you
Yes.
actually make me some form of, if you have sort of arcane knowledge, please, Morboss? Or something similar.
Would that be Arcana?
Yes, Arcana, that's the one.
I've got a +1 in Arcana.
Hey, hey.
Oh, plus four.
I got
nice.
15.
Oh, nice. Sort of from the context clues, you're like Yi. You get a brief sort of idea and then dismiss it as completely preposterous that he might be talking about Yinogu, who indeed is one of the demon lords of hell, and is basically like a giant, like an enormous man hyena creature, commonly attributed with creating the gnolls, which are sort of the weird hyena people monsters that plague various realms. But that's ridiculous. Like, if he, like, I mean, you're sure he exists, you're in hell, but there's absolutely no way he drinks coffee. And even if he did, there's absolutely no way he'd drink it with, like, a wood elf, no matter how handsome. That's sort of what flashes through your brain.
Is this Yi, the hyena person, are they known to be kind of dangerous? And basically, is there danger in us potentially visiting this demon lord? If it is in fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
I think
just
if
most
it's-
demon lords tend to.
If it's Yinogu, then this is like, you may as well have stayed in the Zeppelin, you reckon? Whether you voice
Okay.
any of this or not is entirely up to you, of course.
Morboss kind of swallows his fear and is like, "Wonderful, let's take us to Yi."
What?
Quick question.
Do you need some water, Morbus? You sound a bit.
No, I'm just it's the brimstone, you know. It really clears the lungs.
I assume Cisco's with us, right?
Yeah, Cisco's with you.
God, if he died in that lava.
He's having a great
Been a
time.
bit of a
He's
morbid start.
He's
Okay.
curled up on a hot flat rock nearby.
Yeah. Enjoying that.
He's
Flat rock.
he's just power napping. Basically, he just went out like the minute you stopped walking. He was like, "Yep, and here's me."
Sleeping off that guard.
Yeah, he sort of looks up and like gives a little chitter, questioningly as to why everyone's still standing around. So,
But gang, I mean, I think Cisco's got a bit of a right idea here. I mean, there's a big lava pile over there where a zeppelin just exploded. The goblin's trying to sleep in a pile of ash, and as far as I'm concerned, I am so hot that I think my feathers might fall off. So meeting a demon lord seems kind of like a logical next step. Should we just crack on?
Let's go. Lead the way,
Alright, yeah.
Fareed.
All right. I guess we're gonna. It is a bit early for our coffee, but you know, I'm sure it'll be fine.
How
Bit of a
early
merry
is it?
band.
What time is it?
It's a good question. Let's continue on.
Yeah.
It's on a
Tin,
need-to-know basis.
Tin coaxes Cisco up. He says, "Come on, we're gonna go on another adventure, you and me, yeah?" Looking at him, going, "Yeah." And he like tries to lead Cisco with them.
He follows. He's quite
Yeah.
happy. Like he just sort of would rather be having a nap.
I mean, we all feel that way, right?
So as you sort of set off, you realise Fareed is kind of following what looks like a random. It seems like he's just walking in a random winding direction. But as your eyes sort of adjust to the infernal hellfires, you realise that there is sort of a path here. It's kind of like the ash, a 6 inch wide column of ash that sort of cracks and rends and goes along the place is ever so slightly lighter in colour than the rest of the ash that's sort of just carpeting the ground, and you can see a thin red line sort of glowing underneath it. This is apparently what passes for a path or road in Avernus. And Fareed follows it as if he's walked it many a time on the way to go see Yi and have some coffee. Indeed, does anyone want to have any conversations on the way, or should we cut straight to?
Can I? Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, can I chat with Fareed? And Morbos has never been to Avernus, but obviously being a tiefling and wanting to appear demonic, I think he would try and engage Fareed in conversation that suggests that he is as familiar with Avernus, but is obviously papering over his lack of knowledge with whatever
Absolutely.
he's learned from books or
Serial dramas.
yeah.
Yeah. Like Demon and me.
Hell's Anatomy. Can I do a quick sort of perception check on Fareed himself as he's walking with Morbos? See if there's anything like weird or untoward about him.
Go on. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Morbos. So, what sort of thing do you say?
Oh, do you come here much? You know, the eternal hellscape. It's I've been a few times myself. To the place in the north or whatever north is here. You know, the bit with all the fire and the hot rocks and so on. I love it there.
My family has a holiday.
I mean,
Time share.
you must know Yi then. You must have come across him once or twice.
Oh yes, we go back a long way, Yi and I. Although of course his memory isn't what it once was, so it may be he. And it's been a while since I last saw him, so who knows if he'll recognize me?
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see you.
I'm sure.
It's gonna be a reunion for the ages. This is great. Yeah. He'll be maybe he'll invite you to join us on our coffees. We've been meaning to get a third. You know, not to be harsh to Yi, but conversation's been kind of running out. We don't really talk that much these days. I don't know what's happened.
I'd love to join. Yes. Does you drink anything other than coffee? Say water. Not that I like water, of course. I like my drinks as hot as they come. But I'm just thinking of the others.
Well, I mean, you're in hell, so options are pretty limited. I'll see what he's got. But I'm sure. I mean, you're old friends after all, so I'm sure he'll accommodate you.
So, something that you would have learned long ago by now, Fareed, it's a lesson everyone learns in Hell very, very quickly, is that while food can be brought over from the other side, so anything these people have on them, they still have, it basically just the infernal influence of being in Avernus makes water taste like bile, food tastes like ash. So while it's still nourishing, none of it tastes good. It is possible to get good tasting food and drink. Indeed, your friendship with Yi is predicated on the fact that he always serves coffee that tastes like coffee, which is a rarity, because obviously these goods are specialty and therefore very expensive. So, sort of, you're starting to suspect that if indeed Morboss has visited Hell a few times, he wasn't hungry or thirsty for any of that time.
Indeed.
You can hear behind you, by the way, you can hear like Tim is munching on a mushroom and he's like saying, "Oh, this might be the best tasting mushroom I've had yet."
Perception check. I got an 18 plus 4 for 22.
Lovely. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything unusual about Fareed that Fizz might spot?
Yeah. Fizz might, I don't know why I was still doing the voice then. Fizz might kind of get an inkling that some of this isn't quite truth with what Fareed's saying. Like this version of Fareed might not actually be the legit version of Fareed.
Maybe he walks slightly differently when he thinks no one's paying attention or something. That kind of thing?
Yeah. Just notices that some certain mannerisms like kind of fade away and other things kind of pop out, if that makes sense.
Cool. No worries.
I'd like to ask Tim for a bite of a mushroom, because I'm quite hungry.
Oh yeah, he just whipped one out. And just
Thank you, and I
hands it to you. Yeah.
I excitedly bite into it, and then it tastes like ash. So I'm like,
Yeah, come on, you must have been taught better than that.
Coming from the swamp.
it tastes like ash.
Well, more mushrooms for me and Cisco then. He looks over at Cisco and is like, he loves the mushrooms.
Cisco hisses and scampers away from you, runs round the back of everyone and sort of starts, just carries on walking, but as far away from you as he can possibly be.
He does like to play with it.
Maybe he's not hungry right now, Tim, says Amelia.
Well, yeah, he did eat that person.
He really did.
Yes. I try not to think about that too much.
Me neither.
He's got a long, far-off look in his eyes.
So you crest a hill, and the path continues and wends down a little way to a very large building. Now, Avernus used to be actually a very pretty place with lots of lovely architecture and very important looking buildings, but unfortunately it became a battlefield for something called, I believe it was the Blood War, an ongoing conflict between demons and devils. So for example, the River Styx runs through Avernus. Bit of fun. And that is sort of where one half of this eternal conflict comes from. So every now and then a troop will emerge from the River Styx, and demons and devils will clash. Needless to say, this war has been raging for a long time, and it is very bad for the neighbourhood. So everything around you obviously is a ruined hellscape. Of that you're already aware. But while this building looks like, you know, it could do with a lick of paint. It is still nonetheless very impressive that a building is standing at all in Avernus. And what you see is basically like a very large pavilion, like a tea pagoda, like you might see in a Southeast Asian country. It is vast, like to the point where you think the small steps up to the first platform, you're going to have to like grab and push yourself up, because this building is just huge. Around the outside of it, a large pack of hyenas is sort of prowling, and gnolls are moving amongst them as well, and they're kind of just snuffling about, sort of fighting over bones, generally looking menacing.
At this, Tim squeals in excitement. Oh, look, there's so many of them!
Cisco's lip is just curled back, showing all of his teeth, as sort of another zephyr of hot air brings the stench of them to you. Fareed, this is all perfectly natural to you. You're like, here we are, there's the lads. But to the rest of you, you're like, oh wow. Like, reminders that you really are in hell, actually, are coming thick and fast, and this is just the latest in a long line of them.
Yeah, I like kind of hunch down, and my tail just lowers right down to the ground, like almost in between my legs, because I'm just like trying to make myself as small as possible so they don't notice me.
Can Morboss comment on the architecture to Fareed?
Absolutely.
Like hiding the shaking in his voice at this pack of hyenas and gnolls.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, oh, that's yes, that's the. Well, I have a +1 to history roll, so I don't know if I know the architecture or not, but I can roll for it if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, just make me a roll. Why not?
That's a 16.
Yeah, you do.
So whatever.
You do recognise it, and it has a name. This is it's classic Stygian architecture, actually. Like, it's because obviously, you know, your research has taught you a lot about, you know, the afterlife and stuff. And while it seems like, looking around, they omitted a lot, actually. They got the architecture pretty bang on of all of the different buildings that are depicted sort of along the River Styx, including the watchtowers and the you know, the sort of barracks and all that kind of stuff, and the crossing points. So yeah, this is a classic Stygian piece of architecture.
I think I relay that to Fareed. Just to anyone watching, it'll be very clear that I'm just trying to impress this newcomer with my knowledge of hell. I mean, look how much I fit in, and
I just I nod and be like, I've seen better. It's alright.
Amazing.
Wow. Tim is just like waddling towards the hyenas and the gnolls with you, like, excitedly. First dinosaur, now this.
They have spotted you and are starting to walk over. In fact, there's a gnoll kind of leading forward, sort of like moving with a lolloping, yet still like a lolloping gait that nonetheless still speaks to like a real like predatory power. Like he's all muscle, so even though he's a bit ungainly, you know that he can move like a killer when he wants to. And he's looking at you as if he's dropped something and he's going to pick it up because it's rightfully his. Amelia is... This is the first time you've ever seen her looking intimidated. She's standing sort of near the main group being like, Tim.
Yeah. He's just waddling with his arm like out.
What, like...
Yeah.
The gnoll picks you up and sort of is turning you upside down and just sort of examining. And gives you like a... And then you see the gnoll open its jaws, and they open out unbelievably wide, like as wide as its powerful neck, which is coming from its shoulders, like, and it slowly starts to lower Tim into it.
Oh, you've got a very impressive set of teeth there. Oh, wow, they're surprisingly clean, I must say.
You're sort of saying this as you're being lowered, and the front row of teeth are just passing your eyes. You're almost entirely in, when everybody around you hear an enormous laugh echoing off the hills as if it's come from an absolutely impossibly large hyena. Kind of like that sort of way. And it dies off. But the minute that laugh starts, the gnoll freezes.
You can hear it echoing in his throat going,
Tim like, oh, they're so
"Oh."
white. And the gnoll just, as slowly as he lowered Tim in, takes him out, puts him back down, and sort of goes to pat him on the head, but instead just sort of slinks back to the pack.
I think I kind of like scurry over, like take Tim and pop him in the papoose, make sure he doesn't wander off again.
Is Tim covered in like saliva
Yes.
right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Same as any other day, really.
Yeah. It's sort of like
I lick him clean.
Oh!
If you thought the mushroom tasted bad, this is worse. Like it was a thick purple, like ichor that passes for null saliva in Avernus. Yeah, probably. Yeah, could you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Constitute. That's 19.
Wow. Yeah, you're all right. You're like, and you're not looking forward to your next hairball, but you just about keep it together. The doors to the pagoda, meanwhile, with a soft boom, have started to swing open, revealing sort of a small entranceway, and then there's a courtyard beyond that looks... You're not sure if it's sort of like a glamour magic or not, but it looks tranquil and verdant. Like there's one of the deer scaring things, and there's like a rock pool, and there's some chaise longues.
Always.
And yeah, again to you, Fareed, this is all commonplace. You stroll in like you own the joint.
Been here every week. Cup of coffee, it's always nice. I love it.
I can't wait to try this coffee.
So Fareed and Tim sort of like stride confidently in. The rest of you...
Am I in the papoose though?
Oh, you are in the
Isn't it
papoose, sorry.
Yeah.
I think seeing Fareed stroll in so confidently, Morboss can't let it break, so just tries to follow instead and kind of keep lockstep and basically copy Fareed's mannerisms of confidence.
Okay. That's...
I
yeah.
like walk as closely to Morbus as I can, and again, I'm just keeping as small as I can and just avoiding eye contact with all
Eye
the
contact.
weird creatures. Eye contact. And I'm just like, I'm almost like I'm so close to Morbus that like the next bit would be for me to literally like lift his robe and go under his robe. That would be the next step for me, because I'm just like very scared of these things.
Morboss is just trying to shoo you off. Away.
I'm trying to look cool. Okay.
Stop embarrassing me, Bob.
Ooh. So you all emerge into this courtyard, which is tranquil to the point where the noise of the screams and the hellfire and the intense heat even of Avernus is all dulled down. If you concentrate on it, you can still hear it. You can still feel that you are in an incredibly warm place, but it's like you've stepped out of hell into a little pocket of quiet and of sanctity, which is strange, really, because sat cross-legged on the ground is what you assume is the demon lord Yinagu, because Yi, also known as the Beast of Butchery or the Gnoll Lord, is basically a huge battle-scarred gnoll who towers around 14 foot tall. He has sort of matted fur covered with sort of a weird patchwork armour. This is made from discarded shields and breastplates held together by chains, and it's also decorated with a bunch of bits of flayed skin off of enemies he thought worthy of decorating. He is looking at you with a wide grin, which is like... Basically, it's like he has no lips and he just has this endless row of teeth that go all the way back to his ears. He has sort of like glowing red eyes that look at you with an uncommon intelligence. He's got one of those weird hunchback neck things that hyenas have, and he's just sitting there, just unmoving, but again, sort of waiting with this coiled menace. And next to him is a coffee urn and a bunch of cups.
Sorry. I was just gonna say I'm clearly still very scared, but I just grin back, but you can see my eyebrows are very worried. It's a very worried grin. Yeah.
He sort of turns and looks at you, and
Oh, hello, you're a jolly one, aren't you? Tim is looking so far back because he's so small that he's his head is craved up.
Yee!
Fareed, you've brought some friends.
I have indeed. I've just been thinking, it would be good to have a few more guests for coffee. We've had some good times. Why not share those good times?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, delightful. And he reaches out and hooks a mug with a claw, and with surprising delicacy, delicateness, not delicacy. So he does it in a surprisingly delicious way. He hooks the tap on a coffee urn and starts pouring cups of coffee, and just without looking, he slides them across the floor toward each of you. It's like, yes, it's always nice to have people to talk to. Fareed is, he's been a good friend.
How many cups are there exactly?
There's one for each of you.
Exact amount. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Can Morbos?
Tim is reaching. He's in the papoose. He wants his coffee. Yeah.
I don't think Tim needs coffee.
He's reaching for it. Yeah.
Yi slides one and then picks it up and hands it out to Tim.
Oh God! Can you imagine the size difference?
It's enormous. The mug itself is hard for you to hold up. You're like, ugh. So yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna sip that coffee.
Morbos, what were you saying?
Can Morbos cast Disguise Self on himself?
Yeah.
And just very subtle changes. So slightly pointier teeth, maybe a couple of extra inches of height, just slightly more built up, just to try and, match up to this, or appear not that we're equals, but that I would be at least tougher to chew on the way down.
Yep.
So, but does that and then steps forward, kind of hiding the shaking in his hands from nerves, and it takes one of the coffee cups. Again, following Fareed's kind of, mannerisms.
Yi looks at you doing this, and then looks along the line, sort of tilting his head, and looks back at you and goes, "Oh, very good." And then he looks at you and goes, "He's brave, this one, isn't he?"
I mean, out of the whole gang, I guess he's the bravest. He's all right. I'm still getting to know him.
Well, how did you meet? Don't keep me waiting, Fareed. You know this is the highlight of my week.
Oh, we're all friends.
Believe
we're old friends, aren't we? Aren't we, Fareed?
Yeah. They just missed me so much that they crashed a Zeppelin to just see me. That's dedication.
It is.
That's friendship. It's quite something.
You may not have been able to smell it on the wind, but I know that stench. You crossed the Cathedral of the Silver Flame, didn't you?
As he mentions stench, Morbos looks slightly more nervous before, breathing a sigh of relief.
He looks at his own armpit quickly.
Don't lie now.
I wouldn't say we crossed the Cathedral of the Silver Flame. We just we made use of their transportation device to come see our mate. That's all.
They've sent many a great number here, but none so amusing or resilient, it seems. You're the first to have reached me. I believe you have Fareed to thank for that.
Yeah, about that.
You're welcome.
Did Fareed call ahead at all and tell you that we were coming? We didn't want to be rude and impose.
He doesn't answer.
Good.
Sorry, I'm just coughing.
Can Morbos say to Yi, you and I have met before. Remember? It was a long time ago. I can't imagine you recall. Way back at the annual hell gathering.
He leans down, like his neck. It's almost like he's on a gimbal. He just kind of moves down. His head is level with yours, and he's staring right at you. Like your cloak is billowing with his breath in and out, and he holds you in his gaze for a few seconds, and then he sort of seems satisfied by your nerve, even if it's more that you're terrified and rooted to the spot. And he goes, he winks at you as he comes back and is like, "Sure, yes, I remember well."
Do the cups have saucers, by the way? Or are they just cups?
No, they're mugs, like coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Morbos takes an incredibly long sip.
It's delicious.
Does the mug say, like, you don't have to be cursed to live there?
He's much classier than that. No, these are all just like nice white mugs that, with a good sturdy handle, a good glaze on them. They hold a good amount of coffee. Like, they're just like, they're not fancy, but they are good mugs.
Yeah, Tim's been guzzling his coffee this whole time. He loves it.
You sort of like every time you pause, it slowly starts to fill back up.
Oh yeah, he keeps going.
Yeah, okay. So Tim is drinking probably his own body weight in coffee. Now, Fareed, I'm delighted you brought these people, but while I understand you're very popular out there, you've never brought me friends before.
I mean, don't you think it was about time that we just expanded these coffee drinks, Like, I don't want to be critical of our last few coffee drinks. They've been a blast. But stories have been, I feel like we're reaching that stage in our relationship where we've just told each other everything,
Yeah. Well, I suppose I may be prone to repeating myself. But surely these people just landed. Mostly people are preoccupied when they get sent down by not dying, and then they entertain vain hopes of escape. Are you sure that's not why they're here?
Nah, of course not. Well, you guys just wanted a drink with Yi, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tim's nodding while he's still guzzling the coffee.
Yes.
Right, I can't take this anymore. Is this a trap? Because it feels a lot like a trap for Eve. And I'm tired. Can we just get put in the meat grinder or whatever it is that's gonna happen?
Morbus says in a side note to Fareed, "While he's chewing on the bones of the bird, you and I will make our escape."
I do respect that. I do respect it.
Yi looks at you, Fizz, and sort of seems to notice you, and then he sort of seems to notice you again. He goes, "Oh, fun." And he sort of extends a long hand, and his claws click slightly as he brings them together, and he snaps his fingers. And for a second, he holds you in his gaze for about 10 seconds. All of the effects of your potions wear off. You are reverted. You have no original thought. You cannot speak. All you have is a vague sort of prey drive fluttering in your head that is telling you you're in danger and you need to fly. And then he just waves a hand. He sort of like just waves a hand as he moves, and you're back to your normal self. Amazing, amazing what they can brew these days.
Oh, that's not right. Oh, God.
Fun. Yes.
I don't get it. Because obviously I don't know what he felt, so to me it looked like he just kind of stood there and then gasped loudly.
I think Fizz just starts downing coffee at this point.
Yeah. Tim has finally physically drank so much coffee that he can no longer fill his stomach anymore, and just stops and just like, oh, well, I feel a bit full, I must admit. It's very nice. And looks at you and says, "Thank you so much. Your hospitality has been so lovely."
Don't mention it. But I really would appreciate if you would just tell me what it is you want.
What do we want? Well,
Look, all right. It would be nice to not here, obviously, because this is lovely, but not here, as in Avernus here, because I mean it's not really our vibe. And that thing that you did just do to me is probably one of the worst experiences of my life. So if we could somehow work out some kind of arrangement, I'm sure you could have my soul. I'm not really using it. Just get us back on the Earth, or whatever it is we call the planet in Dungeons and Dragons.
What's the opposite of inspiration?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Yes, there it is. That's what I thought. Well, interesting.
I mean, hey, I was here for our coffee catch-ups. You know, I thought they wanted to join in. It's like, I guess not. But it would be nice to know that as well. You know, I've been here for a while, and kind of just want to explore other places. You know, I know everywhere around here.
Well, all good things must come to an end, I suppose. Even a wood elf can get bored with an infinite plane, it seems. And you see him sort of think for a little while, and then his grin, you swear, gets wider. He goes, very well. There have been portals made into Avernus before. I mean, you've just been through one. But that's a very particular kind. It's more like an explosion. It opens, it throws whatever's in the firing line in, and then it just closes again. There is a rumour that there was once a portal to a place called Dragonspear Castle. And I believe, with the right equipment, of course, it could be reopened. You see, and he sort of he waves a hand and a small table pops up with finger sandwiches and coffee cake.
Oh, Tim is instantly reaching.
Yeah, and it tastes like sandwiches and coffee cake. It actually tastes like real food.
Oh, Tim's loving that.
As with so many things infernal, there was an element of trickery involved in the making of this portal. Daros Dragonspear was his name. The man who built Dragonspear Castle. He was tricked into sacrificing himself at the end. And, well, it opened the portal, so it did. It's long stood closed since then, but if you would just fetch for me his hammer and his chisel, I think we could find a way to get you through. It may not be the realm you were expecting or exactly where you've come from, he says, sort of looking at Cisco. But it wouldn't be hell. Does that sound appealing?
Tim, with like food in his mouth, is saying, "Well, I always believe in helping others, and it would be wonderful if you could help us in return."
Oh, but I want to keep this one. No, I shall be strong. It's not fair on the goblin. Very well. If you would just fetch for me the chisel at first, we'll see what you're capable of.
Where is the chisel exactly?
Oh, it's quite close, depending on the route you take. It's in a forest. It's in the middle of a clearing. I'd have gone to get it myself, only it's guarded by red caps. They seem to worship it. And, well, anyone who's met a red cap will know they're frightfully dull and very annoying.
Do I know what a red cap is? Can I do a history check?
Yes, please. Anyone who wants to do a history check can try and remember what a red cap is.
23.
Whoa!
Can I assume that I've come across them?
You have avoided them studiously all of this time. Yes, you know of red caps, and I think the rest of you might be like, oh, red cap. I swear I've heard of them because they're kind of a common Fey folklore thing in Eberron. These are basically small Fey creatures. They look like gnomes almost, or halflings, but they wear these massive clumping pairs of iron boots, and they wield these large, wickedly sharp sickles wrought of really crude iron. But their defining feature is the red cap on their head, which gives them their name. And basically, they live to kill, and to hunt, and to rip, and to tear, because their caps must be constantly renewed by dipping them in blood. If a red cap's cap ever dries out completely, they die. They cease to exist. It is as if they were never born. So they live possessed by a wild, frenzied desire to keep themselves alive by slaughtering others. As small as they are incredibly ferocious.
Old buddy. I don't suppose you want some company while I don't think it's going to take all of us to, for such a trivial task. Another cup, perhaps?
I'll make a deal with you, Morboss. You can stay, and the others can go and solve the problem. But if any of them should die, I'll keep you. And I'll make you my plaything.
That sounds wonderful, doesn't it, Morboss? What a nice deal you think.
Yeah, what a great deal, Morboss. Why don't you take it?
It's a tempting offer, but if you knew the rest of these like I do, as much as I would love to stay, I don't actually. The more I think of it, I don't think they can be trusted. I, your humble servant, will go and do this for you, as a show of my faith or commitment or something.
How generous! Good.
Well, thank you for the lovely snacks, but I suppose we should be getting on. We need to find this chisel of yours. I'm sure we can explain to the red caps that we need it and what we need it for. Right?
You could certainly try.
He's looking around at the others. Right?
Yeah, red caps. I mean, they're fun. Well, just point us in the right direction then, please, Yeezy, and we'll crack on.
Easy,
Wow.
even I haven't called him easy. Bold.
When you get there, tell them Yeezy said you can kiss my whole ass. He waves a clawed hand, and a side door to the pavilion opens. It opens on a small jetty, and then onto a lake of lava. He says, "That is the most direct route. Hold on," and he waves a hand over you. And for a second, your vision goes sort of cloudy and milky, and then starts to clear as you realise he's cast some form of protective aura over you that for a second is solid white and then starts to fade. Because you'll come to no harm from the flames. Anything else, I cannot guarantee.
Wait, are we swimming?
Oh no, you'll walk on that. It's non-Newtonian.
Good.
Let's go then.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks very much. Bye.
Pointing towards the. Yeah. There.
He hooks his mug, and takes it to the urn again and starts to refill his coffee. Which you think is a performative gesture, but he's doing it anyway. It's like, good luck out there.
Tim waves and yells, "Goodbye, Mr. Yee!"
Cheers, Yee. Been a pleasure as always. Come back next week. Yeah, I'll see you then.
Oh, you're coming, are you?
See you later. Thank you for a delightful afternoon. And as he sort of says that, he doesn't chuckle, but you hear a wild laugh sort of coming up from all the way around the pagoda as the gnolls and hyenas around you start cackling. The doors of the pavilion sort of close behind you, and you look out onto a giant lake of lava, which you seemingly need to cross. Will our bold adventurers find the chisel, or will the redcaps tear them to pieces? And why does a demon lord not use a mug that's better suited to his enormous size? Find out the answers to the first two questions, and let's face it, not the third, next week on Dungeonbreaker.